the coworker whose voice grates on you, the friend whose habit drives you up the wall. An old Taoist teaching says these people may be holding up a quiet mirror, showing you the parts of yourself you haven't yet made peace with. Before we begin, if these calm words reach you, subscribe to Wisdom of the Tao so more people can find a little peace. Now, picture that person. There is one, isn't there? They start to speak and something in you tightens before they even reach the end of the sentence. Your jaw sets, your shoulders creep up, your breath goes shallow and quick, and it happens fast. Not after an hour, in seconds. Maybe it's the coworker whose voice grates on you. That particular tone, the way it climbs at the end. You feel it in your body before your mind even catches up. You brace the way you'd brace against a sound you can't turn off. Why this person? Out of everyone you meet in a day, why does this one slip straight past your calm and pull you tight? Here is a small clue. Notice something strange. Not everyone reacts the way you do. The man sitting right beside you hears the very same voice, the very same words, and he barely looks up. Same person, same sound. And in him, nothing tightens at all. So sit with that for a moment. If the problem lived only in them, wouldn't it land the same way on everyone? But it doesn't. It lands hard on you and softly or not at all on the person next to you. So what is different? Not the coworker, you. Something in you is meeting something in them. This is where an old teaching offers a gentle answer. It's called the law of the mirror. And it says something quiet and a little unsettling. What irritates you most in another person often points back to something in you, a part you haven't yet made peace with. Let me be careful here because this is easy to hear wrong. The law of the mirror is not a way to blame yourself. It is not a trick to excuse the other person either. If someone is unkind, they are still being unkind. That stays true. This is not about fault at all. It's an invitation. A small, quiet invitation to look, not out at them, but at what your own reaction is trying to show you. Because the strength of your irritation is information. When a sharp feeling rises fast and hot, it's rarely just about a voice or a habit or a stranger being a little too loud. It's touching something tender that was already there, and this is an old teaching, not a law. Take what serves you and leave the rest. Nobody is asking you to believe anything, only to be curious. But if this irritation really is a mirror, then what exactly is it reflecting back at you? There is a first image that shows it plainly. A river, a stone, and the precise place where you stop flowing and start to push. A river does not fight the stone, it flows around it and still it arrives. So watch what happens inside you when someone irritates you. That tight feeling in your chest, that little pushback, that is the moment you stop flowing. The stone appears and instead of moving softly around it, you brace against it. Your irritation is that bracing. It marks the exact spot where you have stopped flowing and started pushing. And here is the quiet part. The push is a reflection. It points somewhere. So let us look gently at what it shows. When someone's arrogance stings you, try one soft question. Where do I long to be seen? Not to blame yourself, just to notice. Often, the pride we cannot stand in another sits close to a place in us that feels unseen, unheard, waiting. When someone's laziness annoys you, ask a different one. Where am I secretly hard on my own rest? Maybe you never let yourself pause. Maybe you carry a quiet rule that says you must always be doing. And so, their ease pokes at something tender in you. Do you feel that? The judgment is sharp on the outside, but underneath it is soft, it is tender. That tenderness is the mirror doing its quiet work. Now, an honest word, this is not always true. Sometimes a loud person is simply loud. Sometimes tired is just tired, and nothing is being reflected at all. So hold this lightly. It is a lamp to hold up, not a rule to obey. You lift it, you look, and if it shows you nothing, you set it down and walk on. No forcing, but when it does show you something, that is worth sitting with. So here is a small test. You can try it right now in the quiet. Think of one person who annoys you, just one. Bring their face to mind. Now name the exact quality, be honest and precise. Is it the neediness, the bragging, the control? Say it plainly to yourself, not a fog of dislike, but the one clear thread. And now, sit with it. Breathe, ask softly. Is there a corner of my own life where that same thing lives, quiet and unadmitted? The control you resent in them, do you hold it too, just in a shape you have learned to hide? The neediness, the bragging, the control, where does its small cousin live in you? This is a tender moment, so let me be clear. This is not about blame. You are not the problem, and neither in this moment are they. And it is not about excusing them either. Their behavior can still be wrong. This is only about looking, just looking with soft eyes. Before we go on, let me pause here. Tell me in the comments which of these thoughts touches you most today. I read them and it means a great deal. And if these words do you good, take a moment and subscribe. Now, back to your tender spot. Because once you have found it, once you can feel the exact place the mirror was pointing to, something surprising waits on the other side. What if the coworker whose voice grates on you is not your enemy at all? What if they are your teacher, standing at a door you kept closed, gently knocking? Because that is the strange gift hidden inside the turn, you are not fixing them. You never were. You are meeting yourself, the part of you that flinched, the tender spot the mirror kept pointing to, and once you see that, everything softens. Think of a single candle in a dark room. It does not shout at the shadows, it does not push them into the corners. A candle does not argue with the dark. It simply gives light, and the dark is gone. Your judgment works the same way. You do not have to fight the irritation, wrestle it, win against it. You just bring a little light, a little understanding, and this thing quietly loses its grip. So let me give you something you can actually do, something small. The next time someone gets under your skin in seconds, that coworker whose voice grates on you, the friend who interrupts, the stranger who is a little too loud, pause, just for a breath. Before the old story starts, before your jaw tightens, stop for one moment. Take one slow breath with me now. In, gently, and out. That single breath is the whole practice. It is the space where you get to choose, and in that space, swap one thought for another. The old thought is loud and quick. What is wrong with them? You know that voice well. It has run for years, but try the quieter one instead. Ask yourself softly, what is this showing me? Not as blame, not as a verdict against yourself, just as an honest question, the way you would turn a stone over to see what is underneath. Here is the part that sets you free. You do not have to say a single word to them. You do not have to explain the mirror, or forgive them out loud or become their friend. None of that. You only turn the mirror gently toward yourself and let the judgment go. The other person may never change. They do not need to. Your peace was never really in their hands. And that is the whole quiet turn of this old teaching. The people who annoy you, the ones you would never have chosen, can become the quiet teachers of your calm. Not because they are good, not because you were wrong to feel what you felt, but because every mirror, held gently, helps you see yourself a little more kindly. The knock on the closed door was never an attack, it was an invitation. A door, finally, you get to open. So the sharp voice that used to grate on you becomes something else. A small reminder, a bell. It says, here is a tender place, still asking for your kindness. And when you meet it that way, the irritation begins to fade. Not because you forced it down, but because you stopped feeding it. The candle did its quiet work. Make peace with what you find inside and the sting fades on its own. You do not have to hurry it. You do not have to be perfect at it. Some days, the old jaw tightening will come back, and that is fine. You simply pause, breathe, and ask the quieter question again. That is enough. This is an old teaching, not a law. A lamp to hold up, not a rule to obey. So take what serves you and leave the rest. And the next time a person gets under your skin, may you remember the mirror, the candle, the single slow breath, and find waiting quietly underneath it all a little more peace.